Ito pala si Preme. Kaya may kita lang maka-icing ko yung damitan ko. Ang gulo nga eh. Hello. Sabi kahapon ako ulit po. Narinig mo kahapon si Daddy? Ulit din sa FX4. Ang kulit eh. Kasi siguro nakita niya maganda. Eh mahal, alam ko ng Deep City. Bakit? Alam ko to bakit. Ano to eh. May-ari niyan, founder ng Fort Everest Love Philippines. Nakausap ko na ngayon eh, si J. Cruz. Taga Mapua din. Yung gagawa nila. Ano yan, mahal? Para siyang, ang tawag doon? Yung paint na yan, parang foil. Pero to texturize. Scratch proof. Gusto silos pag ganito natin. Kulay gray. 10,000 lang yan. Oo. Hindi joke, mahal yung ganyan, Dipsy. Mahal yan. Mahirap gawin yan eh. Di ganda, no? Pero man maganda to kasi, scratch proof nga siya. Ginagagasgasan yung Tsaka foil lang. Pag gusto mong palitan, natanggalin mo na lang. Deep City. Ganda ng Apex po rin, no? Pwede na. XLT nga lang, pwede na. 4x4 eh. Oh. Mas matibay ka ba? Matibay naman na siguro yung gano'n. Luma na yun.
Okay, any volunteer for the reaction? Admit. All you need to do is to raise your hands. Okay, Ayeng? The value of R1, you're raising your hands, Ayeng? Anybody who wants to give me the reaction? Or I have to call again. Oh. Ayeng, are you talking or do you want to say something? Oh, Marceliano.
I have only reaction 2, ma'am.
Reaction 2. So what is reaction 2, Marceliano?
171.
171. Okay, so let's try to get R2 from anybody. Boloron. R1 pala, Boloron.
Same value po.
Sa R2.
171
What about
R1 din po.
parehong value, R1 and R2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us see. Let us say sum up moment about R1 to solve for R2. Okay, Boloron, masyado makapal. Let me use black. Okay, so where is that? Boloron, will you give me how the equation on how to solve for R1? What rotate clockwise?
R1, ma'am, times 10.
Dali lang. Are you summing up moment about R2 or R1?
About R2 po.
R2. So let's say we sum up moment about R2. So R1 times
R1 times 10.
10. So that is rotating clockwise. So positive. Meron pa
Minus.
bang rotation na clockwise?
Wala na po, ma'am.
What about the moment?
Ay, clockwise po ba yun, ma'am? Or hindi pa i-count na baliktad?
It's drawn in a clockwise manner. So it
Okay
has
po,
to
ma'am.
be. Okay, so R1 is, moment is also, it's acting exactly at this point. Let us call this A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So plus 60.
Apa, ma'am. So, mali
Okay.
po pala, ma'am, yung 17, ma'am.
Say, okay lang. Never mind. R1 times 10 plus 60, that is rotating clockwise. Okay, now what rotate counter?
Minus 30 times
30
12.
times 12.
Then,
Else?
minus 60
Okay,
times
how did you get
5.5.
60? 60
Um,
is the,
The load po, ma'am,
okay,
distributed load.
the equivalent concentrated load of a uniformly distributed. Kasi yung 20 is a uniformly distributed over length na 3 meters. So that's why you get 20, the equivalent concentrated load times 3 meters. So that gives you 60 kilonewtons. Okay, 60 times how much?
5.5 po, ma'am.
Okay, so that is acting exactly 1.5 meters from the left, 1.5 meters from the right. So 4 plus 1.5 is 5.5. So tama. Okay, what else? Rotate clockwise. Ay, counterclockwise.
240 po, ma'am.
240. So how did you get 240?
Yung distributed load po, 40 kilonewtons per meter, tapos 6 meters po.
Okay, so the equivalent concentrated load nito is acting there, and that is 40 times 6. So that gives you 240. Okay, so 240 times, ilan? Sabi mo? What is the perpendicular distance?
4 po, ma'am.
4. And finally, equal to
0 po.
0. So let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the moment load. So we have 5 forces.
R1 will be 159 kilonewtons po, ma'am.
Nasaan na yung, sandali ako. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ano?
R1 will be 159 kilonewtons.
Okay, so R1 is 159 kilonewtons. So that is R1. Okay, so now let us check R2 if it's really 171. Sino ba yung nagsagot nito? Thank you, ano nga ba pangalan? Boloron? Are you Boloron? Am I talking to Boloron?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Boloron. Now let us try to recheck R2. Who was the one who solved for R2 kanina? Yung sinabi niya meron lang siyang R2. Did you answer this? Kiomit? Kiomit ba yun?
Hindi po, ma'am.
Sino? Ay, pareho pala yung Kiomit at saka Boloron. So, sino yung isa? Who answered R1? Wala. So, let me just use Orejudos.
I answered
sino?
R2.
R2 pala. Sino yun? Marceliano?
Yes.
Who is talking? Okay. So, Marceliano, will you give me the equation that you use in order to solve for R2? Did you say summation of moment about R1?
Yes.
Okay, equal to 0. What are the forces or moment load that rotate clockwise about R1?
But R1. Wait a moment. 60.
60, that is 20 times 3. That is the equivalent concentrated load. 20 times 3, that is 60, times the perpendicular distance.
Wait. Wait. 4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
Okay, that is clockwise. What else?
And 240. 240, which is 40 times 6.
Okay, 40 times 6, that gives you 240 times
times 6 again.
6.
Then plus 4. Then plus 60.
Okay, if it is a moment load, you do not need to multiply it by any distance. That's
Yes.
correct. 60.
Then
Okay.
minus 30 times 2.
Minus 30 times 2.
Minus R2 times 10.
R2 times 10. So this is how you get,
So 0.
tignan mo nga. Is that the correct answer? 171? Tama ba? Kindly double check. Kasi if the reactions are wrong, everything will be wrong. Make sure, let's re-enter the admit. Okay. Make sure that every reactions are correct. Tama.
Your okay. Just understand by 42 Newton times meter and 6 amp. No ice in there, no ice under. Oh.
Will you talk clearly? I cannot understand. Do you have the correct answer, 171? Kenneth?
Yes, mom. Yes,
Okay,
mama.
so we now to check, no? To check, double check. How do you double check your reaction? No, we have to use summation of forces vertical for checking, and it should be 0. That means what goes up, R1 and R2, must be equal to what goes down. And what goes down are 30 plus 60, and then 240. So this gives a total of 330. Okay, is 151 ay 159 plus 171 equals to 330 rin. 0, carry 1, 6, 3. Okay, so that is also
Ba't di pa
330.
hinaan?
So we have the correct reaction. Okay, once you have double checked the reaction, you are now ready to draw the or determine the ordinate for our shear ordinate. Let us use for our shear ordinate. Okay, shear ordinate calculation. Of course, the general equation, just to remind you, is that the shear at point or the previous point should be equal to the shear at the shear at the exact position is equal to the previous shear plus or minus the area of the load diagram. But you have to make sure that whenever you have a concentrated load, like for example at A, or concentrated reaction, B as well as F, no, those are the points that we need to analyze the left and the right. So shear at A, kailangan sa A may left and right. Okay, sa B, meron din left and right. B, left and right. But when we go to C, there is no concentrated load or reaction, so we just call it shear at C. Then again, at D, at E, wala ring left and right. So where do we have another left and right? It will be at F. F left, F right. Okay, so we are now ready to determine our share on every change of loading. Okay, so can you see the participants, the list of the participants here? Lahat ba kayo nakakakita? So that I will not call you anymore. You just have to, let's say, answer right away if it is your turn. We will follow the participants list now. So I will take the shear at A left, which will be always 0. So starting at A left, 0. Then testa. What is shear at A right? I hope you can see the participants, no? The list of the participants. It's not arranged alphabetically, but arranged testa. Can you hear? Okay, if you will answer and we will wait for you, just say wait lang po or I will compute or I will think about. Or if you cannot answer and you can hear us, you just have to say that sorry ma'am, I cannot. Will you take or I will give the chance to others or whatever. Just to inform us that we will wait or not for you. Okay,
Good morning.
testa.
Good
Okay.
morning po, ma'am. Hindi
Morning.
po ako sigurado. Sorry po.
Okay. Orejudos.
Mahal? Mahal, pumunta pa tayo
Sana.
kay Kipe ngayon.
Panguluan.
Kipe? Gusto ba din? Bukas na ba siya?
Ma'am,
Okay.
try
Gusto mo
ko
tingnan
lang
si
Oh,
Dos?
po.
sige.
171.
Tingin mo, mahal.
Share at A,
Wala ka bang
right?
kailangan
Nandito pa lang
gawin?
tayo sa A. So, this is A.
Imalay mo
Ah,
sa...
You can see the pointer.
Imalay mo sa doon kaya kuhain na natin sa inyo.
No, dito tayo sa
Yes,
A.
pa.
When I say A
At saka ilang
left,
mesa?
nasa kaliwa. So,
Ilang
walang
tupi?
load dun. So, 0. Then you go to A right. So, that is the time you need to consider what?
Ikaw ang may klase.
So, share at A right will be
Ah, sige.
how much?
Bigyan mo pa ako.
The share at the next point is always dependent sa nauna. So, yung A right, palaging equal dun sa nauna na 0. Then, you have to analyze. Ano ba ang load in between A left
Kaya
and
Ay,
zero
sabi ko
po.
ngayon.
Yes po.
Ay, hanggang
so,
ano,
ano
hanggang
na?
ano lang pala ako
Zero
mahal, 12 lang.
Plus,
Hanggang 12 lang ako.
plus
what?
171 po.
Nandito pa lang tayo sa A eh.
10:30 tapos na klase ko.
What is on
At
A? What?
30.
Okay, so you have to include or you have
30
to
pa.
analyze. Oh, 30. Kaya lang, is it really to be
Yes, pa.
added?
30.
Kasi kailangan natin yung direction. If it is going up,
minus
okay.
po.
So minus 30.
Minus
So,
30.
okay, so that gives you how much?
Negative 30
Okay,
po.
negative 30. O next, B left. Valencia.
Ay, ma'am.
O ikaw, Valencia. No. Share at B left, palaging equal saan?
Ano po, yung previous na
O, previous. Ano yung previous?
negative 30 po.
Okay, so negative 30. Tapos, from A right, papuntang B left. Dito lang yon. From A right, papuntang B left. Ano yung load doon?
0 po.
Okay, so plus or minus 0 will do. Plus 0 o kaya minus 0, pwede pa rin. So that gives you how much?
Negative 30 pa rin po.
Negative 30 pa rin. Okay, next, B right. Sino nga yung susunod? Yun na yung susunod. Bonayon.
Plus 159.
Dali lang. Share at B right is equal to,
Ay, negative 30.
okay, negative 30
Plus 159 po.
150.
9.
150, ay, oo nga, no, 159 pala. Ba't na 151 to? Okay, so 159. So that gives us
129 po.
129. Okay, so pagkatapos ni Bonayon, Soriano.
129 po. Plus
From B right, natin yung right na B, hanggang C left. Ay, C lang pala hanggang C. What is the
zero
load?
po.
Okay, plus 0. Wala namang load kasi. So that gives you how much?
129.
129. Okay, next at D. Mata.
Wala po.
Ano? Hindi ko marinig, Mata.
129.
129. From C to D. What is the load from C to D?
0 po. Plus 0.
Ano?
Plus 0.
From C to D, actually, yan yung load sa C to D, mula dun hanggang dun. Yan, mula dun hanggang dun. So, how much is that?
120 po.
How did you get 120?
0 po.
So, una muna titignan mo, is it a plus or a minus load? A minus value? Is it going up or going down?
Down po.
Down, so minus. Okay, what is the load magmula sa C hanggang D. Yan buong yan. So that is how much. But the shear at the next point is always equal to the shear at the initial point plus or minus the area of the load. So you have to consider the area. Kanina kasi wala tayong mga area kasi wala namang mga load dun in between A and B and B and C. Pero this time, what is the area? The area is of course dependent upon the intensity of the load, the rectangle, area ng rectangle in the width or the intensity times the length, no? Or the distance from C to D. Ano yung intensity? Gaano? Ano? Gaano kabigat yung nandun sa load natin ng C to D?
120 po. Kay instrumental. Ano po ba?
120? How did you get 120?
Ito ba yung nasa taas mo?
Yung alin yung sa taas?
120 po ba?
Ang load natin dito is 20 kilonewtons per meter
po pala.
at saka 40 kilonewtons per meter. So ano yung load natin?
60 po.
60. 60 kasi 20 plus 40, that gives you 60 kilonewtons per meter. Distributed over the entire length na how much? Ano yung entire length from? Dyan. From C to D. Ilan? 3 meters. Okay. So that gives you how much? What is the shear at D?
Negative 51 po.
Ano?
Negative 51.
Negative 51. Okay. Shear at E next. Thank you, Tess. Ay, sino nga ba? Bata? Sino nga ba yung nagsasalita? O whatever. So, who's
Desiree po.
next? Desiree. Okay. Desiree. After Desiree, nasa na ba tayo? Elikay. Elikay.
Ma'am, sorry po, hindi ko pa po gaano,
Okay. So, next we have Shoson.
Sorry po ma'am, hindi din po ako sigurado.
Okay. Shoson. Marino.
Ma'am,
Okay.
the previous load is negative 51 po.
Okay. Negative 51.
Then, we'll subtract po ulit the distributed load of 40 kilonewton meters
Kilo per meter. 40
per meter
Okay.
multiplied by 3 meters.
Okay. So, how much is that?
Wait lang po. 51 minus 40 times 3. Negative 171.
Negative 171. Thank you, Marino. 171. Share at F left. Pagkatapos ni Marino, si Ian. Pulmano.
Negative 171 po.
Negative 171. From E to F, ah. F left.
Plus 0.
Okay, plus 0. So that gives you how much?
Negative 171 po.
Okay. Thank you. Pulmano. Lazaro.
Negative 171 plus 171, which is equal to 0.
Okay. So that closes our shear ordinate. So we have the correct shear ordinate once the last ordinate happens to be 0. So the next step na lang is for you to plot it. Can you plot it? Tignan natin kung mapaplot. Sino ba susunod kay? Oops, nawala na ba ako? Nasaan na ako? Basnilio, can you plot it?
Medyo nalilito pa po ako sa pag-plot.
Okay, so Lazaro, anybody who can plot it? Anybody who wants to plot it? Wala pa. Okay, so I will plot it. So I will start with a straight line. Na I will use another color. Let's say orange. And I will plot it using a straight line muna. There should be a reference shear and moment, no? These are the reference line. Okay, next, I will not use a line anymore. Instead, I will use point na. So my points are, so I'll start with 0. So that is 0 at A. A pa rin, pero negative 30. Okay, then I go to B, negative 30 pa rin. Pero sa B right, it becomes 129. So 30, 30, yung halos tatlong triplet ng length na ito, no? Kasi 129 is 3 times, 4 times pala. 3 times 4, 4 times 129. Okay, so B sub C, shear at C is 129 pa rin. But when I go to D, it becomes negative 51. Negative 51 should be lower than 30. So somewhere here, negative 51. Then when I go to E, it's negative 171. So that is even longer than the distance na 129 sa reference line. So 179 is deeper. 171. And in here also, negative 171. And then we have 0. Okay, now the next is just to simply connect the points. Now to connect, because these are all 0 degree as well as no degree, I will have to use a straight line. So this point, connect it to this point. So straight line, straight line, straight line,
Ano pa sabi ni
straight
Tonton?
line. And they should
Nag-reply ba
also
nung
be
ano?
straight line.
Okay nga.
And another straight line.
Nasa baba ba?
And another horizontal line. And a vertical line. Okay, take note, if I will call this our shear diagram, no, I will have to call this our shear diagram. Our moment load does not affect our shear. Now, we did not consider the 60 kilonewton meter load. So it does not affect our shear diagram because it's a moment load. So, but when we go to moment, it will affect. So I will now write our moment coordinate. Moment coordinate. Okay, sa moment, it's a lot easier than shear because we do not need to get the left and the right moment at every point. You just have to consider the moment at A, moment at B, moment at C, okay, moment at D. Take note, I have a larger gap in here. No? Bakit kaya moment at D, moment at E, moment at F. So we need to analyze the moment at every change of loading. Kaya lang, we have contrary to the fact na we do not need to get the left and the right. But whenever you have a moment load, like for example sa C, kailangan sa C, meron tayong moment, a moment, C, left and right din. Nagkakaroon din ng left and right analysis sa point, but that is when we have a moment load. So you have to take care of that. So moment at C, dahil may presence ng moment load, you have to consider the left and the right. Okay, so I still have a wider gap in here because galing sa A, papuntang B, papuntang C, and papuntang D. Before I reach D, take note that my shear diagram crosses the reference line. So that is really a very important point because whenever shear is 0, moment, this is also 0, moment may be maximum positive or maximum negative. So moment at D, E, F, that is a very important point, so I will call it G. A, B, C, D, E, F, and then additional moment at G. So in this case, I have to pass by moment at G also. So meron akong moment at G bago dumating sa D. So those are really very important, moment coordinate. No, we do not just get the moment at every point. Kung wala sanang moment load, every point. And when shear is 0. So whenever shear is 0, we need to analyze the moment there. D, E, F, and G. Yan. Yan ang mga moment natin. As a rule, the moment at the initial should be 0. And then dito sa shear, the shear at point 2 is dependent upon the shear at point 1 plus or minus the area of the load. Yan yung general equation. For the moment, halos kamukha lang din, no? The moment at point 2 is depende sa nauna moment at point 1 plus or minus the area of the shear naman. Area din, kaya lang shear diagram naman. Can you follow? Okay, so let us... Saan ko kaya ito lalagay? Dito na lang sa kabilang dulo. Okay, so... Ay, naku, hindi na makita ko.
Yun, reply mahal eh.
Nasaan na ba ang tayo?
Ah.
Tapos na tayo kay Chelsea, Marino, kay Fulmano, Basnilio. Modesto, can you give me moment at B? Are we to wait for you, Modesto? Hindi pa. Marceliano, Boloron, tapos na. Manukdok, Joshua.
Ma'am,
Okay.
pass muna po ako.
Modesta, saan yung susunod ko? Saan na ba ako? Hindi ko na makita. Evangelio. Okay, so let me try to do this so that you can recall. Moment at the next point is depende sa nauna, which is 0. So I will just copy 0. Then I will analyze the area in between A and B. Pero I have to base it from shear. Itong shear diagram ko, tapos ko na. And the area in between A to B is a rectangular area. And it's found sa ilalim ng reference line. So it's a negative area. What is that area? The intensity is 30 and the distance happens to be 2 meters. So 30 times 2, I will not use negative 30 kasi sinabi ko na nasa below, so I have to consider already that negative sign. Yung magnitude na lang, 30 times 2, which will give us negative 60. So that is the moment at B. So when I go to C left, it's always equal to the shear, the moment at B na negative 60. Tapos from B to C. O, Silvania, Prince, kaya na ba? What is the moment galing kay B papuntang C? This is an area which is also rectangular area. Madali lang naman yung rectangular area. No? And it's above, so you analyze this area. What is that area? Prince?
129 times 3 po ba?
Okay, 129. So do you add or subtract?
Add po.
Okay, so plus 129 times 3. Can you give me the answer?
Okay po. $327.
327. Positive? Prince, positive ba ang sagot mo?
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po.
So now I will go to shear at C right, ha? When I go from C left papuntang C right, I will not yet consider this area. Galing sa C papuntang C pa lang yan eh. But since left and right yan, what we did is kailangan may left and right tayo sa moment whenever we have a moment load. So the moment at C right is always equal sa naunang 327. And then what should be added or subtracted is the moment load. Kung clockwise, you have to add. Kung counter, you have to subtract. So I just add 60 and that gives me 387. Now, pag pupunta na ako sa G, the moment that G is equal to nauna, 387. Now, from C right, ayan, C right to G, yan na, I have to consider this area. Kirino, can you give me that area?
Ma'am, the area is 387 plus yung area which is
triangle po.
Okay, so
Hindi
what
ka
is the area of
patulog
a
ka na.
triangle?
1/2 base times
1 half
Di mo, may smell
base
ka pa dyan.
times height. What is the height?
Ma'am, the perceived height should be 120.
Smell ka pa
Okay,
dyan, wala
so
kang breath.
problema mo na lang yung base, but we do not have yet the base. We'll just call it
Breathless ka.
x. Can you solve for x? Kaya bang mag-solve ng x?
Ma'am, binase ko lang po dun sa may section, from section C to D. Since, 3 meters, it should be 1.5 po ba?
Take note, this is 51 lang.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes po na po. So,
You need to use what? You need to use ratio and?
proportion po.
Okay. So, x is to what as what is to what? Kasi this triangle is what in relation to this triangle? These two triangles are what?
Similar po.
Similar. Okay. So, if we have similar triangles, therefore, their sides are proportional. Bakit nga ba? Pag meron tayong similar triangles, we can use ratio and proportion. Karin, no? Why
Hello po.
can, okay, bakit kailangan, o bakit tayo nakakagamit ng ratio and proportion pag meron tayong similar triangle? How do
Ma'am,
you
kasi
define
po-
similar? Okay.
Kasi po kapag similar triangles po sila, parang may equivalence po sila. Ang nagbabago lang po is yung some scalar factor. Kaya pwede po natin siyang sabihin na equal po siya kapag may certain constant or factor na multiply or divide.
Okay. Can you define similar triangles? Lahat ba ng triangles similar?
Depende po.
So, oo ba o hindi? Lahat ng triangles ba similar? Like for example, is this triangle similar to this triangle? Are they similar?
No po.
No. So,
Ay,
kailan
pare,
mo
ano, tingnan
sasabihin
mo.
na ang triangle
Astig, oh.
similar?
Stig.
I'm not sure po.
So, by definition, similar triangles are triangles. Kasi ito,
lupit
di ba? This is triangle
Ganda
1
ng
and
dates.
triangle 2. They are not similar. Bakit kitang-kita natin na hindi sila similar?
Kaya.
No, because their angles are not congruent.
Ganda ng
Dapat pag triangles ay
Hindi,
similar,
mahal.
they have corresponding
Oo.
angles that are
Wala
equal.
yung 4x4,
Kunyari,
oh.
I will
Lubog ka
have
lang dyan, di
another
ka andar.
triangle
Ganda ng
here.
lugar,
I
no?
will extend
Try niya.
this at saka ito there. And I'll have this as my other triangle. So which means that if this is equal to that,
Ano
this
yan?
is equal to that, and pareho naman silang right
Hindi ko
triangle,
alam. Teka
these
lang,
two
ma.
right triangles
ngipin ko.
are similar. Kasi naman, by definition, similar triangles are triangles whose angles, no, corresponding angles are equal. Yan ang definition ng triangle. Corresponding angles are equal. Pero hindi lang yan. Are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. Hindi lang yan ang definition ng similar triangles. Similar triangles have their corresponding sides proportional. So, corresponding angles equal, corresponding sides are proportional. Yan
Ano
ang
kaya to?
definition ng similar triangle. Kaya may lisensya ka, no, mag-ratio and proportion pag meron kang similar triangle. Why? Because
Hindi
of
ko
the
na- ang
very
lalim, hindi ko makita.
definition ng similar triangles.
Kaya
Triangles
ang
are
baso.
similar if and only if their corresponding angles are equal and their corresponding sides are proportional.
Kaya pwede ba ako ng
Yun
baso?
yung reason
Mag-
why you can use ratio.
Huwag naman,
and
ang hirap inumin eh.
And these are really
Mapapasok ako,
similar
mabubuso mo ako
triangles.
to.
Why? Because this angle is 90,
Baka mag sa baba.
90.
Alam yung dispenser?
Dalawa ng, isang
Ilalim
angle
ng
na ang
kulay
wala
black.
kanila, pero another is that this and this are also equal.
Kung doon D37, tsaka ano,
Kasi
SS5.
this is vertical angles. Sabi natin, vertical angles are equal. Ano ba ang vertical angles? They are angles of two intersecting lines. So, ito
Naaling
tsaka
mag-
ito equal. So, conclusion,
Opo,
itong
bakit?
angle na to as well as that angle is
Oo nga
already,
naghahanap na akong buyer eh.
equal. So these two triangles are similar. Kaya pag may similar triangles ka, we can use ratio and proportion. Which means that x is to 120. Can you now do the ratio and proportion, Prince?
Ano ba yung mga dapat natin ibenta, baby?
O, sino ba yung kausap ko kanina?
Mags.
Kirino ba o Prince?
Yung busina nga, binibenta ko rin eh.
Or sa doon po.
Paano ba ginagawa ko?
Sige. X is to
Nakita ko.
129. X is to 129 as what is to what?
Sabi ko, SES na F5 tsaka T37 eh.
Si Bray mo nagtatawa.
So, 1.5 po.
No, not 1.5 but rather this distance. Diba? Ano ba itong distance na ito? Alam mo magmula rito hanggang dito 3. Alam mo na magmula rito ay dito tinawag mong x. So anong
3
tawag?
minus
Okay, so this should be 3 minus x. Is to
51.
51. Can you solve for x? Kaya bang isolve ang x dyan?
Kapilahin yan.
Solve ko po.
Okay.
Tayo. Tayo, hindi kaya?
Kapilahin yan.
So, lahat tayo allowed to use ratio and proportion whenever you have similar triangles. Tignan natin kung ilang... Everybody should solve, ha? And then you time yourself. Kailangan, ano yun? Orasan mo yung sarili mo. How to solve for x in this
Ma'am, solve na po.
Ilan?
2.50.
Hindi naman sa ganun, makapaiwas ka eh.
2.15. So, you were able to solve it in about, ilan? 10 seconds?
Isang
Kayang
baso sa...
i-solve ng 10 seconds yung value ng x pag nag-ratio and proportion ka. But take note, there is a much simpler and easier way to solve for x. I'm not saying that this is wrong. Actually, this is correct because it follows the similar triangle relationship that sides are proportional. Kaya lang, hindi lang dalawa ang triangles na proportional dito. Not just the smaller triangle, ito yung smallest triangle is proportional to the medium-sized triangle. But I have another triangle. This is my other triangle. The whole triangle that I have in here. That is also proportional to the medium size or the smaller size triangle, which means that I can solve for x in a much faster way. Of course, I will also use ratio and proportion, but it will just be x is to 120, ano yun? 129 as I will not use 3 minus x, but instead, I'll use the whole x, the whole distance na width is 3 meters. Is to, kung 3 meters ang ginamit ko, dapat 129 plus 51. So, 129 plus 51. 129 plus 51 is just 0, carry 1, 8. Ilan yun? 180. So, I can easily solve for x. Because naman yung 3 divided by 180 is 1 over 60. And then I'll just have to multiply.
Siguro meron lang dito tupperware na ginagamit.
By 129.
Para sa meal?
So, 129 divided by 60, will I get 2.15?
Gusto mo yung binili natin na tatapon ba yun?
Yes po.
Here, no?
Yung mga
Okay. So, I
plastic
get
na
exactly the
lalagyan.
same answer. So, it's a lot easier and it's a lot faster. Baka 2 seconds lang. Kanina, 10 seconds tayo to solve for x using this equation. Pero ito, 2 seconds lang. In fact, ito yung shortcut. Saan ba nakuha yung 60?
Ito
1
maganda
over
lock. Meron
60.
naman din lock.
Divide natin yung 3 o yung simplest form ng 3 over 180. But 3 comes from this, no? And 180 is the
Maliligo
product
pa.
of 20 plus 40, 60 times 3. Kaya naging 180. Pero 60 is really the total ng 20 plus 40. So that is 60. So in short, you can solve for x by dividing the ordinate by the intensity. 129 divided by 60. In fact, I can also solve this in the same manner. Kasi ito 51 at saka i-divide ko lang yung 51 by 60. No? Kasi 20 plus 40 is still 60. So what is 51 over 60? Ayeng. Let me call Ayeng naman. Sabi natin ito 2.15. Ano yung 51 over 60, Ayeng?
0.85 po.
Okay, 85.85. So tama, 'di ba? Kasi 2.15 plus 0.85, you get 3 meters. So that is our shortcut to solve for our point of zero shear. Okay, so I will use 2.15 dito. Okay, can you give me the moment at G? Ayeng, ikaw na nga rin ulit.
Wait po, ma'am.
Sige.
Akit ito. Parehas? Wala pa rin. Wala pa rin. Inagaw na laro.
387 plus 1 half ng 2.15 times 129.
525.675 po. Kuha ko, ma'am.
Ano sa lagay? 525.68.
Stay po.
Okay, so if that is the answer, what you need to do is just copy it here, 525.68. Then you analyze moment at D. Okay, so moment at D is the moment at G, ayan na yung G, plus or minus the area of the load. In between G and D. Okay, ito na ngayon yung consider natin. Okay, ano ba yung susunod? Sino ba yung susunod? Okay, Alpahora. Alpahora. Okay.
Yes po.
Sige, Alpahora. So what is the moment at D? Nandito pa lang tayo sa D, ha? So the moment at D, galing sa G, ano yun? 525.68. Tapos, anong gagawin? Alpahora.
Minus yung ano po, yung
Okay.
area po nung
What
track.
is the area?
1/2 po
1/2 base
times 0.85
0.85 height
times 51.
51. So what is the answer?
Wait lang po.
Pagkatapos ni Alpahora, Kausay. Susunod ikaw na, Kausay, ha?
Ano po?
Sige, lakas.
504.101.
504.01. Okay, Kausay. Thank you pa, Alpahora. Oh, sige.
504.01 minus
Mura talaga dun.
171 plus 51 over 2.
Okay, so that is the area of a trapezoid.
Yes po.
Masarap naman yung kay Brianna, di ba?
Multiply by 3
Dito na lang.
Okay, what's the answer?
equals 171 po.
Ako dito, yung sa ano ni Tito, parang di naman mas masarap yung kay Brianna.
Eksakto. Okay, so moment at F, Alpahora, susunod kay Alpahora.
Kakilala nila Mami.
Ay, kay Kausay, si... Ano nga ba? Kim.
171 minus
Si Grace hindi
171
pagising eh.
equals 0.
Hindi lang, 171
Alam po,
times
orientation.
area
Times
times 1.
Times 1 equals 0.
Okay, so that means if we have a zero ordinate, we have a closed moment ordinate. So, pwede na bang pakiplat? Trisha? Can you plot it? Kaya bang i-plot? Mahirap kayo mag-drawing. Okay, so let me just plot. Trisha, ikaw na lang ano? O ikaw magpa-plot? Ikaw na?
Science, no?
Sige, hintayin kita mag-plot.
Hindi po ako marunong mag-draw using laptop.
Oh, hindi pala. Sige, ito na lang. So, I will start with 0. Sa moment at A, 0. Pagkatapos sa moment at B is negative 60. Siguro mga dito yan. Negative 60. When I go to C, oh, biglang 327. 327.
Pero kailangan mo mag-summer.
Tapos sa C pa rin, naging 387.
Hindi kasi ano pa.
Okay, pero sa G, mas mataas. 500 na. Sa G, nandito yung G. 525.68. And then sa D, lumiit ng konti, 504.01. And sa E, is 171 na lang, konti na lang. 171 and then 0. Okay, now, you need to plot it. Kaya lang, when you try to connect points, you do not connect it using right away a straight line. You just have to connect it using dotted lines. So from 60, naging through 327, naging 687, naging ganito rin, 525, 504, 171, and then 0. Ayan yung ating moment diagram. But take note, our moment diagram is 1 degree higher than the shear. This is, pag tinignan natin from A to B, is no degree. Walang degree yan. No degree. Ito rin, pag walang load, no degree. No degree. No degree. Pero pagdating sa shear, it has to be a 0 degree. Pag 0 degrees, horizontal line. 0, 0, 0. Okay, kasi no degree. 1, 2, 3. But this is, pag uniformly distributed, we call it a 0 degree. 0 degree. Iba yung 0 sa no degree, ha? Kaya sa shear diagram, this is already first degree, slant line. First degree, slant line. Pero sa moment, it should be 1 degree higher than the shear. Pag 0 dito, so therefore, sa moment dito, straight line. So ito, mula rito hanggang dito is a straight line. The same is true with this. It should be a straight line. When you have a straight line, you have to use some ruler. Hindi pwede dikit-dikit nyo lang using freehand. It should really be a ruler. Ito rin, first degree. So ruler din to. Para talagang mukhang first degree. Ngayon, no, because these are already first degree, hindi na pwedeng second degree. I mean, hindi na pwedeng first degree ulit dito. So sa moment, it should be a curve. And it should be a curve concave.
Primo, huwag ka dyan.
Concave downward. No? If the load is downward, the moment
Alis ka
should be
dyan,
a
alis ka
curve
dyan, alis, alis, alis.
concave downward. And this should also be a curve concave downward. Okay. Tapos dito, this is to be connected also using a straight line. Kasi vertical line ito. Okay. So this is our moment diagram. Okay. This is our okay. So you now can copy. And if you have any question, you can ask. Print screen. And then copy.
Jacob na naman.
Okay na ba? Nakopya na? Is there any question? Question? Bilisan. Pag may question na, baka mamaya may question pala. Pumupunta na tayo sa susunod na problem.
Mga question
Oh,
po.
question. Salamat.
Ay, yung sa VD po tsaka VE, medyo nalilito po ako.
Sa shear at ano nga? Hindi ko marinig.
Yung sa ano po, V-ordinate.
Okay. Sa shear ordinate, anong nalilito ka dun?
Yung sa ano po, yung sa V at tsaka yung D at tsaka E po. Yung sa kung bakit
Letter D, ganito?
Opo, yung
D.
D at tsaka VE.
E. From V, shear at D, tsaka shear at E. Yun ang pinaka mo. Shear at D is galing sa C. C, tapos area. So, area is intensity. Kaya lang ito magkapatong eh. So, pwede sana 20 times 3, tsaka 40 times 3. Kaya lang, pinagsama na natin. 20 plus 40, that gives you 60. Okay. Sa D to E naman, itong intensity lang na ito. And this is just 40. 40 times 3. Kasi ang general formula should really be that the shear at point 2 is depende sa nauna, shear at point 1, plus or minus the area of the load. Kaso yung ibang segments A, B, B, C, tsaka E, F, wala namang mga area doon kasi walang mga load. So we did not use any area. Only at C to D and D to E may area. Yung area is dito mas mataas kasi 20 plus 40 ang kinonsider natin kaya naging 60. Pero dito 40 lang kasi yun lang ang load. 40 times the perpendicular distance na 3. Did I answer your question?
Ma'am, okay. Thank you po.
Okay. Is there any other question? Okay. So if there is no other question, we will go to the next problem. I will stop share muna para ma-copy paste ko rin to. File, save as. PC. Okay, will you, hindi ko pa pala nakakuha yung attendance for today for our exhibit. Will you try to open your camera sandali lang so that I can take a picture of everybody who are present for today? Activate your camera, please. Okay, paano ba yung view lahat? Gallery. Okay, so I can see Daryl, Quirino, Neron, Kede. Okay, so let 1, 2, 3. Hanggang Dorothea pa lang ako. The other part, I will have to, sandali lang ha. Copy our attendance for today. Yung susunod, page 2. Okay, so Miranda, di ko makita yon si Miranda. Jasmine, I cannot see you. Ano lang. Sandali lang. Para lahat merong picture. Jasmine, ayaw. Lang camera. You are the only one na walang. Ayan, I can see you. Sandali lang. Print screen. Okay, thank you very much for your attendance for today. Okay, we will now continue. You can turn off your video. And I will, screen. Share the screen. Share screen. Take the next problem. Okay, so let's say, ito na yung sinolve natin, isa pa. Yung kabila. Okay, ito naman, simple. Okay, so let me give some values. I will use black. Okay, let's say this is 50 kilonewtons. Dalawa lang yung load. Isang concentrated load at isang 20 kilonewtons per meter load. Uniformly distributed. This is 1 meter, 3 meters, 5 meters, at saka 2 meters. So, kindly start solving for the... By the way, this is a uniformly distributed reaction, ha? Uniformly. So, we'll call this W. W in newtons or kilonewtons per meter. Well, this is R2. But if we have W, we will not be able to solve for R1 or R2 kasi wala namang R1. So again, here we need to get the equivalent concentrated load na ito. and we can call it R1. Okay, so R1 is located 1.5 from this end, 1.5 from the other end. Okay, solve for R1 and R2. I'll give you 2 minutes to solve for it.
Meron bago ng ano, Snapdragon. Ang bilis lumabas.
Oo nga, nakita ko.
888 na. Pangit. Pangit ka na itsura ng bagong Xiaomi. Mi 11. Pangit. Ang weird ng camera na itsura. Xiaomi talaga lagi na una, kaya tuloy katagalan. Walang bibili sa kanila. Paano na nasapawan na ng iba? Sila yung pinagsisimulan kasi. Wala na rin mga ano, charger.
Si Papa. Sa ano nga mahal? Yung, ano tawag doon? Yung bago daw iPhone. Wala daw charger, pero may fingerprint. Di ba?
Wireless?
Oo,
Wireless na.
Paano yan no, pag nawalan ka ng ano?
Wala kang choice. Magdala mo talaga magdala lagi ng wireless.
Kailangan may wireless ka lang.
Jacob, yung pogi naman ang baby na yan. Jacob, primo. Jacob, primo. Ahem. Avengers. Ay, ang Avengers namin. Avenger. Ay, nakatingin ng bebe. Nako. Galit ni Brin. Anong bakit?
Cute kasi, like mommy. Sendan kita ng mga gusto kong costume ni Prince. Gusto ko mag-milkfish.
Gusto mo yung costume ko ng birthday ko, recreate natin sa kanya.
Ano ba costume yung birthday mo?
Hindi ko maalala eh.
Ay, naka-beach ka ata.
Hindi na sa picture, hindi ko birthday yun.
Hindi mo ba birthday yun?
May kasi ni Primo yung mukha niya sa ano. Uy, inuuntog yung sarili niya.
Lakas ang trip mo. Ayan, dyan ka, sige.
Ika na, kalik, daddy. Laki ng mukha. Daddy.
Ano ba na sa tita mo? Uy, ano oras? Hindi ba natutulog? Pero kasi mahal, nung umalis tayo, di ba tulog to? Nagising nga daw ng 6.
Ay na naman, man.
Nagising ng 6.
Diyan na yung tulog niya, ang hirap.
Tapos natulog ng 7.
Patay ko yung TV, patidayin natin.
Mag-iingay lang yan. Tapos natulog daw na 8:30. Hanggang nung dumating tayo. Buong araw tulog eh. Ito.
Anak, magsalita ka na kaya. Hindi pwedeng puro Cocomelon lang, ha? Primo.
Kailangan lagi siya may kausap.
Primo. Saan pa ka dyan? Wala si mama, napagod na.
Kasi tulog di primo. Gusto niya almusal.
Okay na ako, man.
Okay ka na?
Hmm.
Ano to ang kita almusal?
Ayoko. Jacob.
Kaya patingin ako ng classmates. Wala pa. United dyan.
Si Pala yung pinakaano yung buong kamay niya. Sinusuot yung mga daliri niya. Kapit na kapit eh.
Ay, okay. Wow, natutuwa yan. Hindi ako ng kaligayahan. Ay, yung ganun pala gusto niya.
Ayaw eh. Angay. Sundot, bibig, sundot.
Late reaction. Ay, si Coco Melon na matutulog na. Si Coco Melon.
Subo eh.
Saan nga nakakatawa nilulusot yung dila niya dito eh.
May mga ganun na.
Hindi magkasya eh.
Mga ganun na naman. May subo yung anak.
Si Simon ng prop niya nagtuturo na.
Ano yung minto? 2 minutes daw, hindi na bumalik.
Ano nagtuturo na siya?
Oo, agad. Shh. Ay, nako. Pad. Ulitin nyo na. Ano yan, nak? Ano sasabi mo dito? Maintindihan. Hindi pwede yung humuhuni lang, ha? Kailangan may words. Kailangan may words. May words dapat.
Sabi niya, hotdog.
Daddy, I'm sorry. I will not repeat it again.
Sabi niya, paano wala pa ako 1 year old?
Come on. Say it, anak. Come on.
Aso siguro yung anak mo.
Aba, maangal na. Oo,
Ambulansya daw siya.
Alam mo, inaapi. Ano mo inaapi? Nak, magsalita, wag ganyan.
Ambulansya.
Magsalita, wag ganyan, ha?
Mag-ambulansya, primo. Magsalita ka. Mama! Mama, marunong yan mag-mama eh. Mama. Mama, 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 mama. Da, 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 da. Put, 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 put. Bako ng put. Oh, yung panghi. 1 year old.
Any answer? What all you need to do is to raise your hand so that I can see if okay.
Excuse me po, si Mata po nasa waiting room.
Waiting room pala. Okay, thank you.
Ay, sima na lang kaya siya.
So, pilot. Tapos yung design mahal ng Airbus.
Pwede na.
Ano, airplane yung type. Yung alam mo yung kailan na airplane? Parang ganun gawin design.
Aviator.
Anybody? Raise your hands.
Cute ng mga batang matataba.
Bata lang.
Bakit? Sino mataba na?
Okay, Marino.
Mahal ko yung
Pressure
diploma
R1.
ko sa AP.
R1 po is 117.65 kilonewton.
Kuhain ko, no?
7.65. And then, who is the other one raising his hands? For R2.
Ay!
Dalawa kang inay nagtataas. Ayun, Galoron, R2.
Sana naman gising ka pag pinipicturean ka, di ba? Baka tulog.
32.35
Yun naman yung problema lang natin, mahal.
Ano?
Hindi natin alam anong oras aanuhin si Primo kasi irregular yung tulog niya eh.
Ay, maayos.
Okay, kung let us check if anybody who has a different answer or anybody who agrees with this answer.
Ma'am, yung nakuha ko po sa R1 ko is 87.65.
Mal, nag-reflect na sila ate Lancer.
87.65.
Ulan.
Okay, sige. Any
Oo,
other
labas
answer?
talaga yan.
Yun din po yung R1 ko.
Ito nga, nag-graduate na.
Okay, sino yung nagsabi mo?
Graduate na siya.
Will you raise your hands? It's hard for me to find you here. Sino ba yung huling nagsa Aguada?
Aguada po.
Okay, so dalawa na yung 87.65.
Naging ano na si Primo, naging chef.
Oo, naririnig. Sino ka ba? Yvonne? Barok?
Yvonne Barok po. Same
Okay.
po ko sa ano po,
naging angel.
117.65 sa R1 po. Tapos sa R2 po, 32.35 po.
Okay, so Aguada agrees with the previous answer. Yung dalawa, disagree. Okay, is there any... Okay, so we might as well check, no? Tignan natin kung sino talaga ang tama o ang mali. Okay, so let us try to solve. How do we solve? We need to sum up. We need to sum up moment about R2 to solve for R1.
Uy, naku, nilalang
Orihudos, ikaw nga mag-solve ng R1. What rotate clockwise about R2? Alisa o Alisa? Are we going to wait for you, Alisa? Okay, sige.
Medyo nag-connect po kasi ako, hindi ako nakakasunod.
Make sure your internet connections are really well adjusted, no? So that, Testa, can you do it? Kasi I want everybody to have or to understand this. I'm not calling you, no, para whatever reason, but for you, isa lang yung reason for you to understand what we are doing. I want everybody to pass module 2. No, in fact, this module 2 is one of the most important module here. Kaya kailangan naintindihan ng lahat ito. Testa, can you give me how to solve for R1?
Ano?
Ayan, Testa.
Ano po? Negative 50
Dali lang, sa negative 50 ka magsisimula. Negative 50
times 11 po.
Okay, 11.
Plus
Plus ba talaga? Sige, plus ang gusto mo. Plus
R1
R1.
times 8.5 po.
Okay, 8.5.
Minus 100.
100 is the equivalent concentrated load nito.
Opo.
20 times 5 is 100. Okay, 100 times
4.5 po,
okay,
ma'am.
2.5. So that gives you 4.5. Okay, so what is the value of R1 talaga? Is it 117 or 87?
117 po nakuha.
Okay, so tama. 117.65. Siguro yung mga 87, the distance, ang may pagkakaiba. So we agreed that R1 is already 117.65. Now to solve for R2, we sum up. Always to solve for R2, we sum up moment about R1. No, so that you individually solve for R1 and R2. O baka Orehudos, pwede ka na. Pwede na ba? Hindi pa? Panguluan.
Baby.
Panguluan.
Hello po, ma'am. R1 po.
Okay.
Negative 50
Negative 50. R1. Nagsasama tayo sa moment ng R1. So, negative 50 times
2.5
0.5
minus R2
R2
times 8.5
0.5
minus
puro minus ba? Minus ano?
minus 20 times 5 times 4 po.
Is it also minus? Lahat puro minus na. This one is rotating clockwise.
Ay, plus po ata yung
Ito,
sa R2.
Plus pala.
Yes po.
Plus this is plus. Okay, equals 0. So what is R2? Angulo.
Wait lang po.
Anguluan.
$32.35 po.
Okay, so 32.35. The unit, of course, are kilonewtons pa rin.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. Now, after solving for R1 and R2, double check, make sure that they are correct. And to double check, you just simply have to use summation of forces vertical equal to 0. Dapat si R1 at saka si R2, they are the ones going up, must be equal to what goes down. And what goes down is 50 plus 100, so 150. Is 117.65 plus 32.35 equals 150? 0 carry 1, 0 carry 1, 1. Okay, 150. So therefore, it's correct. We can say that this is already true. And we have the correct answer. So we are now ready to analyze our shear coordinate. Okay, we need to name. Pangalanan muna natin. We have to name them at every change of loading. We call this A, B, C, D, and then E. Ay, by the way, R2 does not really exist. Wala talaga tayong R2. What we really have is W. Okay, what is the relation between R1 pala? Hindi pala R2. What we really have, my mistake. No, what we really have is R2. R1 is equivalent to 3, W kilonewtons per meter times 3. So therefore, what is W? Wala talaga tayong R1. R1 does not really exist, but what we have is W. So, Valencia, what is W? What is the uniformly distributed reaction from B to C?
Ma'am, hindi ko po masyadong get sa part na yun.
Kasi itong R1 is just the equivalent concentrated load ng uniformly distributed load. Kasi ito yung load natin pag ganun. Ay, ng uniformly distributed reaction. Uniform yung distributed reaction natin. So, kinuha lang natin yung equivalent concentrated load niya para mas-solve natin. Kasi if W is acted over the 3 meter length, hindi natin masosolve si R sub 2 kung W pa rin yan. Kaya in-equivalent lang natin para it will be acting only at one point, yung R1. para mag-sum up tayo sa isang point, we can solve for them. Pero pagka-solve ng R1, dapat ibalik mo siya ulit in terms of W. And if we have W kilonewtons per meter reaction here, acting over the length na 3 meters, at equivalent siya sa
Siyempre.
R1 na 117.65, ano
Nakain
ngayon
yan,
yung
te.
W? So 117.65 is equal to W times 3. So W is what?
Ano po ba? 39.22
Okay,
po
so
ba?
39 divided by 3 lang naman. 39 point ano?
0.22 po.
0.22. So yan talaga. So ito kilonewton per meter. Etong kilonewton, wala naman talagang concentrated load dun eh. Merong uniformly. Kasi pag may concentrated load dyan, dapat tinawag natin tong point C, D, E, F. Hindi naman. Kaya A, B, tapos C dito. So walang R2. Ay, walang R1. My mistake. Okay, so let us have this as our reference line and another reference line for the shear and moment diagram. Okay, for the shear ordinate muna, Pauline De Jesus is disconnected. So I will accept. Okay, so when you write the word shear ordinate, it has to be followed by the listing, no, of the shear that we need to consider. Kunyari, shear at A. Kaya lang pag-write ng shear at A,
puto, ang
titignan
sakit.
nyo,
Aray.
dapat ba may left and right analysis or just shear at A? Yun ang tanong. Para lahat magkaintindihan. Valencia, sa shear at A ba, kailangang left and right? Sa A ba may left and right o A lang?
May left and right pa rin po.
Bakit kailangan may left and right sa A?
Nasa ano po? 0 degree po.
Sa shear at A, left and right, sa A lang tayo, dito lang tayo sa point A. So wala tayong 0 degree, wala tayong degree yung pinag-uusapan. Sa A, dapat may left and right for the simple reason na merong kang concentrated load. Ito ang reason, yung 50 na yan. Dahil merong 50 dyan na concentrated, dapat may left and right. Okay. Saan pa meron dapat? Sino ba yung sumagot kanina? I am still talking to you para maintindihan nating lahat. Valencia, saan pa dapat may left and right? Bukod sa A. Hanapin mo. Ayan. Saan?
Sa E po.
Okay. Sa A at saka sa E, dapat may left and right. Meron pa ba?
Wala na po.
Wala na. Okay. So, shear at A, left and right. Pagdating sa B, B lang. Pagdating sa C, C lang. Walang left and right. Pagdating sa D, D lang. Walang left and right. But according to, sino nga ba yung sumagot kanina? Kailangan sa E, may left and right. Bakit may left and right sa E at saka sa A? Kasi meron silang concentrated load o kaya concentrated reaction. Yung lang concentrated load at concentrated reaction ang magpapa-require na kailangan may left and right sa shear. Is it clear? I hope
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
clear kasi pinaka-importante. Malilito kasi kayo. Kung kunyari sabi, lalagyan mo ng left and right, dapat wala namang left and right. So, mahirapan kayo. So, you must know kung saan dapat may left and right. I will start with the shear at A left na 0. Then, anong susunod? Shear at A right. Tylo.
Ma'am, 0 minus 50 po.
0 minus 50 equals what?
Negative 50.
Okay, negative 50. So, tapos na si Tylo. Thank you, Tylo. Sino susunod? Si Bonayon. Shear at B.
Negative 50 po.
Negative 50.
Plus.
Plus. Galing sa A, papuntang B pa lang tayo papuntang B. Galing sa A, papuntang B, ano meron?
39.22.
Hindi pa, wala pa tayo. Galing sa A, papuntang B pa lang. Oh. Ito yung 39 eh. Oo, ano dapat?
0 po.
Okay, so plus 0. So that gives you?
Negative 50 po.
Negative 50 pa rin. Next, sino yung susunod? Sino pa ba yung pinag-uusapan? Soriano. Para ito madali lang to, dapat maintindihan lang ninyo. It's quite simple. Kailangan ma 100 kayo
Ma'am.
dito. Oh, Shiratsi.
Negative 50 po.
Negative
Tapos 39.32 times 1.5.
39.32. Hanggang C tayo, banayon. From B
Ayan.
to C.
Bunahin po ba?
Ay, sandali lang. Sino ba yung kausap ko? Sorry. Sino ba yung
Soriano po.
Soriano. O, Soriano hanggang
Aba.
C tayo. From B to C.
Ay, hanggang C po. Times 3 po.
Times 3. Okay. So, wala kang binanggit na plus or minus. Should I add or
Plus po.
Okay, plus. So, what is the answer?
Wait po.
Medyo
Mahirap.
hindi ko nakikita yung mga pangalan. Pag inandar ko, nawala na kung sino yung tanong kausap ko. So, you just have to give me always your name. I'm sorry if I'm calling you another.
67.96 po.
67.96. Okay,
Ma'am?
so, question?
Ma'am, di po ba 39.22 po?
Sandali lang. 22. May mistake pala. Thank you. May mistake, 22. Sa pangit ng sulat ko, hindi ko na naintindihan. 22.
Ano na po?
Check.
67.66.
Okay, 66. Kasi talagang lalaki ang error natin pag may mali tayo. Yan, 66. Thank you for the correction. Sino na susunod? Sino na nga ba?
Pwede mo matigilan mo yan.
Desiree?
No. Dirty yan. Pwede mo.
Am I waiting for you, Desiree? Sagot.
67.66 po.
Okay, 67.66
Plus
plus plus ano?
20 po.
Plus 20
Times 5 po.
times 5. Giving you, is it really plus? Ano? Bakit minus? Ano ba talaga? Plus or minus?
Minus po.
Minus. Bakit minus?
Pababa po.
Okay, pababa. So, obviously, it has to be pababa. Okay, so what is the answer?
Negative 32.35.
Negative 32.
32.34.
Okay.
34 po.
Ay, 30. Ano? 34 lang.
34 po.
Okay. Nusunod. Sino na ba yung susunod sa'yo? Elikay?
I'm sorry po, medyo nalilito pa rin po ako.
Okay. Sino na ba susunod?
Ma'am, try po.
Sige. Sino ba yung nagtatry?
Manokdok po.
Manokdok.
Negative 32.34 plus 0.
Plus 0.
Plus negative 32.34.
Okay. Next. Sino na susunod? Shoson.
Negative 32.34 po.
Hello po?
600. Okay, next ulit nga. Negative 32.34. Meron kasing nag-call po. Okay, tapos?
Plus 32.35.
Okay. What is the answer?
0.00 ay 01 po.
Okay, so it's positive 0.01. That means we have an error of 0.01. Pero very small naman yung error natin 0.01. We can say that it's almost zero, no?
Yeah.
So we can accept that already. We have to plot. So at A, we had start with 0. A pa rin, pumunta sa negative 50. B, negative 50 pa rin. Pero pagdating sa C, 67. So kailangan mas mataas sa 50. 50, 67, banda rito. 67.66. Then, negative 32 na naman, mas mababa sa 50. Negative 32.34. Negative 32.34. And almost 0.01. We can accept that already. Okay. So, this is 0 degree. 0 degree. So, horizontal lang yan. Horizontal. Pag 0 degree, 0 degree, horizontal. But if this is, hindi pala 0 yan. No degree pala yan. Walang load eh. No degree, no degree. Horizontal dito. Pero pag 0 degree, no, uniformly. So, first degree na dito. It's supposed to be a straight line. Straight line, connecting this and that. Straight line connecting this and that. And then this is also a straight line, a vertical line, a vertical line. So this is our shear diagram. So we will just shade it. Kahit anong klaseng shading will do. Okay, so those are the shadings. So let me name ulit, no? Papangalanan ko lang to. This will be our A, B, C, D, E. So those are the different change of loadings. Kaya lang, there are twice, no? Dalawang beses yung shear diagram natin dumaan sa reference line. So those are the points wherein we have zero shear, zero shear, zero shear. When shear is 0, we expect maximum positive or kaya maximum negative moment. So they are very important. So pagkasulat ng A, B, C, D, E, we have to call this F, and this will be called FG. So when we analyze our moment ordinate, for our moment coordinate, okay, we just have to determine the moment at every change of loading. Wala tayong moment load, so it's enough to analyze the moment at A, moment at B, laktaw ng konti kasi dadaan tayo sa F. Punta ka sa C, laktaw ng konti, punta ka sa D, as well as E. So again, very important yung F and G. So let me use red. Galing sa B, dapat dumaan ka muna sa F bago ka pumunta sa C. At galing sa C, pumunta ka muna sa G before you pass at D. So this will be our moment. These are really very important. You really need to name the different change of loading, and whenever shear is 0, you have to indicate the moment there. Okay, start. I will start. Moment at A is 0. Tapos, nasa na ba yung participants natin? Okay, so Pulmano, moment at B. Question? Pulmano?
0.
0.
Wait lang po. Hindi po, no. Minus po. Minus 50 times 1.
50 times 1. So, very good. What is the answer?
Negative 50 po.
Okay, negative 50. Because this area is really below the reference line, minus. Moment at F, susunod sa'yo. Sino ka ba? Pulmano. Aguada.
Ma'am, wait pa. Ma'am, yan po yung maliit na triangle.
Opo, okay. Siyempre, pag galing sa B to F tayo, papuntang E.
Ano ma'am? Negative 50
Negative 50
minus po
minus
1/2
1/2 base.
is
Ano yung height? Alam mo yung height
50
hindi?
po.
50.
Opo.
Okay, ngayon, compute mo na yung base. Let me call it x. Can you solve for x? Let me place it there.
X over...
X over...
Wait pa ma'am. X over 50.
Over 50.
3 minus x
3 minus x.
over 67.66.
Okay, so what is x?
Wait po ma'am. 50.
Sino nga ba tong kausap ko? I'm talking to
Aguada po ma'am.
Aguada.
1.27.
1.27. So Aguada, do you know how to solve this in another way? Which is much more simpler than what you have done. Tama naman yung ginawa mo. I'm not saying that that is wrong. Kaya lang meron tayong shortcut eh. Sayang naman kung hindi mo gagamitin yung shortcut, which I already mentioned.
Ano po ma'am?
Okay, ano yung shortcut?
Yun pa rin po yung x over 50 equals 3 over 67.66 plus 50. 117.66. Yan po.
So ano sagot nga natin? 1 point. Ano sinabi mo sagot? 1 point.
Wait, nakalimutan ko. Sinabi ko.
Hindi mo man lang sinulat ko talaga.
1.27 po.
1.27.
1.27. Ito yung first calculation natin. Ito. Pero ito yung second. Pero meron pang ma-shortcut dito eh. Sayang naman. Ano yung pinakamadali? Tama naman lahat ito. Pero ano yung pinakamadali? X equals what? Right away. Wala nang equation na na cross multiply, etc. etc. It's just to divide yung 50 by the W. Kasi yung 3 over 117, if you simplify that, that is 1 over 39.33 or 32. Kaya you simply divide 50 by the load. Pero, ay 127 pa lang. 127. No, at least you know all the ways. What is the answer? F. Moment at F. Kaya lang, if you're under time pressure, that is how to solve for X. It's just to divide intensity, the ordinate by the intensity. What is the answer? Moment at F. Nasaan na ba yung kausap ko? Kindly finish your moment at F. Wala na.
Negative 81.87. Negative 81.75.
75. O next. Susunod. Sino pa ba? Shoson. Shoson.
Ma'am, hindi po ako sigurado.
Sige. Oh, gusto mo ba magsalita kahit hindi ka sigurado? Ayaw. Sige. Lazaro. Jasmine. Ha?
Negative 81.75
Okay.
minus,
Sandali lang.
ay,
F to C na tayo. F, papuntang C. This is the area that we are talking about. Ano yan? Is it a positive area or negative area? Itong dalawa, negative. Ito,
Positive po, ma'am.
positive. So, it should be plus. Plus ano?
1/2
1/2
multiplied
base times
one-
height.
Yes po.
Ano yung height mo?
Ang height ko po, 67.66.
Okay. Ano yung base mo?
Base is 67.66 divided by 39.22.
Okay. So, y. I will call it y. Y is 67.66 divided by
39.20, which is
39.32.
22 po.
22 ba itong W?
Opo.
Ay, oo nga. No. Kanina pa ako mali. Okay, 22. Okay. My mistake. Sorry.
Which is
Which is-
1.72 po.
1.72. That gives you how much?
Negative 23.56
56.
po.
Thank you. Okay. Sino ba yung nagsalita? Hindi ko na makita. Baldemoro. Moment at G. Baldemoro. Ayaw, Baldemoro. Relieve. Oh,
Next na lang po.
relieve. Nika?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Moment at G.
Negative 23.56 po.
Okay. From
Plus.
C to G. Plus.
Plus 1/2. 67.66. Oh. Times yung ano po, 67 over 20.
They is 67 point.
0.66 over 20 is equals to 3.38 po.
Okay, so alam niyo na yung shortcut. Ano yan? 3.38. So what is the answer?
Wait lang po.
Bababa ko lang to ha. Masyado nang crowded.
$90.79 po.
90.79. Okay, then we go to moment at D. Thank you. Sino ba yung isa pang tinawag ko? Relieve? Relieve, moment at D?
Ano po, 90.79 minus 1/2 32.34 po times 30.34 over 20, which is 1.62.
1.62. Okay, so moment at D will be what?
Wait lang po. 64.59 po.
Okay. And then finally, let us check Evangelio if we have the correct answer. Moment at E, please.
64.59 minus 32.84 times 2. Equals po sa 0.09.
0.09
9 po.
ang error natin. Pero wala pa rin ng point. Values 0.1. Okay, so we can accept this because this is very near, no, almost 0. So all we need to do is to plot. At A, we have 0. At B, negative 50. At F, that is F, I will project it down. It's negative 81. So it's lower than 50, negative 81.75. Pero sa C, it's negative 23. Negative 23.56. Sa G, it's positive. You will project 90. 90.79. Sa D, 64. 0.59 and 0.09 is almost 0. Okay, so because these are 0 degree, tsaka ito, dalawa lang yung 0 degree, dalawa lang yung straight line natin dito. So if I will try to draw a straight line, dapat ito straight line to connect, ito rin straight line to connect. The rest, hindi pwede i-connect ng straight line. It should be a curve. Kaya lang ang problema, we have mentioned that to connect it, dapat supposedly, i-connect natin to. We try to draw a dotted line to connect these points. Kaya lang, hindi pwede straight line ang gamitin natin. It should be a curve. And it should be concave. If the load, katulad dito from B to C, is upward, upward, it should be connected using a curve, concave up. If it is downward, itong 20, pababa yung 20 hanggang dito, they should be connected using a curve, concave down. So this is our moment diagram. This will be our shear diagram. Can you follow?
Ma'am, may question
Oh,
po.
question. Salamat.
Ma'am, ilang percent yung accepted na error? Kasi po minsan, di ba po parang pwedeng mag-propagate yung
tama.
value sa moment.
Expand.
Ilang percent po yung
Okay,
parang,
if you will be using at least 4 decimal places after the decimal point for all your answer, katulad ng R1, 65, 117.65. Kung 00 na ito, so 117.65 is tama na. Pero kung kunyari 6537, you have to use 4 sa R1. Sa R1 pa lang, tsaka sa mga values ng X, 4. So I will be able to accept hanggang 0.5 siguro. Hindi na lalagpas yung 0.5 yung error nyo sa value ng moment. Pero dapat gamitin nyo, as I've said, during the exam, lalo na 4 decimal places after the decimal point for the values of X as well as the reaction. Okay. Is there any other question? Okay. If none, you can copy and then print screen nyo. And then review this. Okay, print screen ko rin. I will stop sharing. Pwede na? Stop share ko na? Na-print screen na? Okay. Next. Okay, this time our problem, I will expand, is a cantilever beam. It's a cantilever beam supported on the right by a fixed support. So this will be called A. Okay, this will be called B. C, D, and then E. We have 3 concentrated loads. Let's say 30 kilonewtons or 50 na lang. Mukhang 50 na ba ako. 50 kilonewtons. And then let's say this is 60 kilonewtons. then 70 kilonewtons. Then this is 20 kilonewtons, and this is 30 kilonewtons per meter pala. Pag uniformly distributed load per meter. Pag moment load, take note, this is rotating clockwise. I will use 80 kilonewton. Ang unit ng moment times meter, kilonewton meter. Let's say this is rotating counter. I will use 120 kilonewton meter. Okay, now the distances. Let us call this 4 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, and then another 2 meters. So the total length of the beam is 10 meters. In here, we have a cantilever beam at A, a fixed support at A. So if we have a beam that is a cantilever and fixed support sa A, at A, we expect tatlong klase ng reaction. The reaction will involve vertical reaction. I will consider R1 o R na lang, wala namang 2. And then horizontal, wala namang ibang horizontal, so walang horizontal. But I will consider a moment load. I will call it M. So solve for the reaction as well as M. Kindly solve it. Kasi pag hindi kayo marunong mag-solve ng reaction, wala, hindi na ito matatapos. Hindi na tayo makakadraw ng shear and moment diagram. So I'll give you 5 minutes to solve for the reaction. If you are through, you can just raise your hands. Or magsulat dun sa, ano ba yung chat dito? Sa chat, no? You can write it in the chat. Ay, ba't nawala? Ayun. Okay, so start. Solve for the reaction. I'll give you 5 minutes. I will drink also. Inom muna ako. Okay, anybody who has a reaction for this cantilever beam? There is only one concentrated reaction here. So when you have a cantilever beam, to solve for the value of R is just to sum up forces vertically equal to 0. What is the value of R? R goes up. What goes down? Testa? Pwede na ba? Can you solve for R?
Yes po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Sige, R.
R1 po.
Okay, so we just call it R kasi wala namang R2.
Okay
Okay,
po.
R.
Minus 50.
Minus 50.
Minus 40 po.
Saan galing yung 40?
Yung uniform load
Okay,
po.
equivalent concentrated load nito, 40. Okay.
Minus 240 po.
240. Saan galing yung 240?
Yung sa 30 kilonewton per meter po.
Times 8.
Opo.
240.
Minus 60 po.
Minus 60.
Minus 70 po.
Okay. So what is R?
460 po.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody who has a different answer or who has exactly the same answer as Testa?
Same po.
Same answer. Okay, what about M? The moment M. Okay, so Soriano, pwede?
Pwede po.
Okay.
Summation of moment about A po is equal to 0. Minus M plus 80 minus 120.
Sandali lang. 80. Okay. Plus, minus 120.
120.
Those
plus
are the moment
70
loads.
times 10.
70 times 10.
Plus 60 times 8. Plus 50 times 6. Plus 20 times 2 times 5. Plus 30 times 8 times 4 is equal to 0.
Okay, what is our M?
Ma'am, M po is 2,600 kilonewton meter.
Okay, is there any 2,000 ulitin mo? Kindly repeat, please.
2,600 po kilonewton meter.
Okay, is there any other answer or who agrees with his answer? Walang agree, wala rin disagree. Okay, will you raise your
Agree.
hands? Raise your hands if you have the same answer. Tignan ko nga yung natutulog na rito. Okay, almost everybody has risen their hands. Okay, thank you. Now we go to share. Share ordinate. And later on, moment ordinate. I will take a picture muna. We have 10:30, 30 more minutes kasi 10 pa lang, almost 10. Will you try to solve this using the bond paper or the paper, whatever you have? And will you try to use this Zoom para so that I can see what you're doing? Solve it and then paki-focus lang yung camera nyo, yung cellphone nyo doon sa trabaho nyo. So that I know who among you are already able to follow. So this will be some sort of a sit work, parang oral recitation. Pero individually, I can see what you're doing. So from time to time, pakitaas yung cellphone and activate all your cameras so that I can see. No, just to make sure that everybody is already Naintindihan ba yung sinabi ko?
Morning po, ma'am.
Oh, good morning.
Pwede po ako lumipat sa cellphone po. Naka-laptop po kasi ako eh.
Pag naka-laptop ba, hindi makikita? Hindi, walang camera, hindi ko makikita yung
May
screen.
camera po, ma'am, kaso lang naka-focus lang po ata sa mukha ko po.
Ah, okay. So, you have to, sige, lumipat ka muna sa cellphone. Pero, parang zoom nyo, tapos lumipat kayo sa cellphone.
Sige po.
Tapos,
Thank you po, ma'am.
okay. Ito, bali ang seat work natin. Para isa-isa kayo, ay hindi na ako tatawag. So that I can see right away what you're working on.
Mami, on cam na po ba?
Ay, on cam nyo na. Kasi tatanggalin ko na to. I will, have you copied this problem? Nakapakikopya na nga lang sa papel nyo. And as well as the magnitude of R1 and moment. R1 is 4460. For 460, for 460 pala, tsaka 26. So that I can see what you're working on. So I will print screen to. Waiting room admit. Okay, nakopya na lahat ha. I will finish this screen sharing. Stop screen share. Ayan. Paki-focus lang yan sa ginagawa. Ayan, very good. I can see Miranda's paper. But the others, I cannot see their paper yet. Ayan, I can see Eliza. And Kim. And Buloron. Sandali, nasaan yung iba? Hindi pa naka-on yung mga camera nung iba. Okay.
Wait po, lilipat lang po ng device.
Sige, sige. Ito si Trisha, I can also see. And then, ito si Charis. Yung iba, mukha pa nila yung nakikita ko. So, I want you to focus. Ayan. Si Bobby. Si Daryl. Ayan. Para lahat gumagawa. Si Angulan, I can see. Ayeng. Bobby Nilo, ito medyo maganda yung kay Alec Testa. Alex, where are you writing? Saan ka nagsusulat? Sa bond paper ba yan? Ano yan? Ayun na ako, hindi na ako marinig. Can you still hear me?
Ay ma'am, sorry po. Sa whiteboard po.
Sa whiteboard. Kaya palang laki ang liwanag. Sige. Ang galing mo, may whiteboard ka dyan sa bahay. Okay, so it's good. Patricia, Kenneth, Kirino. Okay, yan. Medyo nakikita ko. Jason. Okay. Ikaw, Chelsea. I cannot see you. Ayan. Yung iba nasa, wala pang camera. Ayan, Daryl. I can see Daryl. Justin. Nika, I cannot see you. Ian, I can see. Doroteo. Chelsea Guevara, I can see Jason. Sue. Jasmine. Vince. Miranda. Liza. Jos. Paulina.
Ma'am, nasa waiting room po.
May waiting room pa rin. Okay. Marino. Bakit ba nawawala sila? No? Nagda-drop ang internet.
Ma'am, kung pwede po pa-accept sa meeting room.
Okay, so Kenneth, you are through?
Yes po, ma'am.
Sige, we will wait for the others, ha? Tsaka,
Ma'am, may I turn off my mic, my camera, or I'll still leave it on?
you have to leave it on so that I can...
Okay po, ma'am.
I cannot see your camera, Prince, Vernon, Neron, and Ralph.
Oh!
Wala pa bang camera dyan?
Okay, Jason, are you saying that you're true or share pa lang, share pa lang. Wala pang moment. Marlubi, sa susunod, you just have to place the load, the share in one page kasi nahirapan ka pa palipat ka sa notebook.
Opo, ma'am. Pasensya na ba?
Hindi para sa'yo din, especially during the exam. Isang page lang dapat lahat magkakasama para hindi ka lipat ng lipat. Mahirap mag-share ko ano. Okay, Christian has already finished share. Moment pa lang. Ay, moment na lang. The others, hindi ko masyado makita kasi. Especially, when you take the board exam, there are really problems involving share and moment diagram. So it's best to place them in one sheet of bond paper during the exam or board exam, or even in your Corel. So probably 1 to 2, 4 terms or 5 terms, magpo-Corel na kayo. And one of your exam is already about share and moment diagram. So, kailangan medyo mabilis kayong gumawa ng share and moment diagram. Mabilis na, tama pa. So, it's best i-practice on one sheet lang per beam. Hindi yung dalawang sheets, malalaking sulat. Basta you'll try to fold it lengthwise or crosswise. Then you try to draw. Diretso yung share and moment. Di pwede yung share na sa kabila, yung lobe na sa kabila, yung moment. It will be very hard for you to turn the pages on. I mean, palaging lipat ng pages. So then I can see your camera, Vernon, Valdemoro, and Ralph. I still cannot see your camera. Patricia, you're raising your hands. Is there any question or are you finished? Naiwan lang po. Sige, pakitanggal if you don't have any question.
Ma'am, excuse po. Ma'am Sally, ma'am, pwede po ma'am mag-raise ng question? Ma'am, about po ma'am sa module 1, ma'am sa grading po. Ma'am, kasi ma'am, meron po ma'am mga ano po doon na hindi niyo po na-gradean. Ma'am, sa akin din po. Ma'am, sa akin, ma'am, sa akin din po. Hindi po, ma'am, hindi po lumabas sa blackboard. Ako din po, ma'am, meron po nung gumawa po mismo kami. Ma'am Elikay po, Ayeng po. Thank you po, ma'am. Thank you po, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.